Alright, y'all. So we gonna do another. This is another video we got coming for y'all. This is gonna be kind of like a speed round thing where we'll have a topic, we'll talk about it for a certain amount of time, and then alarm will go off, and then we'll go to the next topic and continue. So we got three topics. We got three topics.
2 minutes.
2 minutes per topic. So
let's have
two. You go first.
All right, first one we're gonna talk about is purity.
Yes.
Now, being in college, obviously this is something like, there's gonna be dealt with. Like, being in college, the topic's gonna come up, a lot of hesitation comes up a lot in college. And, it's just something that, I've learned a little bit, before I went to college actually, as about having influence of purity and knowing that, there is a glorification that you give towards God, when you stay pure. And I'm just lucky enough for someone who's still pure to this day, and I don't take that for granted because it's something that I feel like not only, especially as a man, I feel like it shows a different kind of I can't find the word, but like a standard, it shows like there's a standard that you have and that you hold yourself up to when you keep your purity. It's like you're not just someone who's just phased by emotions and feelings that bad. You're someone who's like, no, I want to wait for the right person. I'm someone who has a standard, like I want to find my wife. I'm not here to find, just somebody just to mess around with. I'm not just here looking for a girlfriend. No, I'm looking for someone who can eventually become my wife. And and other people see that and they see it and they look at someone and they'll be like, oh man, that person has a standard. The person knows what he wants in life. He's not just looking for something that will satisfy him right now. He's looking for something that will satisfy him later on in life. And that's, because I know we don't have enough time, that's basically what I want to take in, teach you guys about purity. Is like, man, just think about it as like a standard you want to hold yourself up to. Yeah. And it feels like in the times when you're single and you're alone, sure, it doesn't feel like great because you want somebody's love and affection, but I'm telling you, it's so much better to wait and save yourself from so much heartbreak. So, yeah.
To me, purity, I'm not a virgin. And I'm not proud of it, but yeah. But for me, purity, trying to reset and get back to a place where now I do live in purity was a lot of trying to see things the way God does, because I wasn't raised in an environment where purity was the standard, or where that was something that was no sex, no porn, no nothing. Keep your thoughts pure, keep your heart pure, keep your mind pure. But the closer and closer I got to God, and the further I got away from what I was raised to know, the more and more I got to see how God sees it. In Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 13, Habakkuk was going back and forth complaining to God, how come you letting our people get killed, and yada, yada, yada. And Habakkuk describes God as somebody who's too pure to set his eyes on the things that are evil and the things that are wicked. And that stuck with me because it's that's how we're also called to look at life and to look at things from God's standpoint and what he says is pure, what he says is right, what he says is righteous, and morally just having the right standards to set. So I like what you said about keeping your standards right, because that's really what it goes into. 41 seconds. I would say to be pure and to live a pure lifestyle, you want to do your best to figure out what God says about things and look at life the way that God looks at it, and keep that godly lens on your life. And that way you can, it usually does encourage you to live in a more pure way.
Yeah. Alright, confidence, get it. Alright. Being people who are very confident, a lot of people don't have it straight away off the bat. Some things it takes some time to develop, confidence, not just around people, but confidence in yourself and confidence around who you want to be as a person. And I think for me, it took a while to really have that confidence. Especially in high school and middle school, I was I wasn't a confident person for such around people. If there's someone more confident, I would be oh man, never mind, you can have it. And I'd be I'm just cool, I'm sitting here. But, and I'm not talking about just an arrogance, I'm talking about just a confidence where it exudes in the room. Yeah. People can they can feel it, oh wow, this person's confident. And I never had that about myself until after high school, where I was you know what? I knew who I was kind of, but I didn't know fully. And once I actually started to know who I was and knew the person I wanted to be, I was okay, cool. This is who I want to be, and I'm gonna show that side of me, and hopefully people like it. But then if you keep worrying about what people think, you're never gonna be as confident you want to be if you keep worrying people's thoughts. So you gotta learn to be okay, I'm not gonna worry about people's thoughts or people what they think of me, how I dress, how I talk, You know, I'm just gonna be who I want to be, and you know, if people like it, cool. If they don't, then you know, that's their problem. That's their loss. I'm just, as long as I'm the person who God wants me to be, and as long as I'm trying to be the person that God's making me to be, you know, then it's good just to have confidence in that and knowing that God's gonna help you become the person you want to be. And then it's good, like, and then things will show. People will realize that about you. And especially if you're a younger person, I'd just say, you know, just try to be better. Just try to grow, and you know, things will just happen and you'll just build. And so it's always good to be like, I'm ready at time, just have a little clock thing going, a little edit. But yeah, just, you know, just be you, and you know, just let God take over. And I'm telling you, like, things are just beginning to happen in your life, and you'll be like, oh man, people start to see how much like you are growing in your confidence.
All right, so confidence for me, I grew up, I wasn't a very confident kid as a, like when I was really young. I didn't really get my confidence until my mom started like pushing me out of my shell in middle school. But even then it came out in like an arrogant, belligerent type of confidence. So I was very just rude to people, but I had a lot of confidence towards it. And then once I really gave my life to God, He started showing me how to walk in His confidence. And my confidence comes from my identity in God. And really what that for me means is just like, I understand who God is, and I do my best every day to seek more of that understanding of who God is, but I also can handle life's pressures with the confidence and with the faith, knowing that God has my back. And also that the closer and closer I draw to God, the more I'm being shaped and molded into the man that God created me to be. So my confidence really just draws from understanding that I'm being who God created me to be, which allows me to live my best and most full life. So confidence for me is just, that's really all it comes down to. You notice whenever we talk about confidence, it's never about somebody else's opinion or what the world has to say. It always boils down to what God says and who we really are, what we like, and what suits us best. And that's really where confidence is supposed to be found. Not in what somebody else has to say, but who God says you are, and living that out for you.